8 years ago, I was a little bit much younger than now, as you suppose, and I really didn't realize what was happening in my life. You know, you're doing a movie, you're shooting a movie, you do the press and you do the premiere in the normal movie, and that's it. You know, Bond is part of your life forever. You've been named Bond girl in the street, and despite all the movies you've done after, and you know, after 8 years, I'm still here, and because Bond franchise is such a great part of cinema history that, you know, is always going to be alive forever. So I think until I'm going to be 102 years old, I'm going to be a Bond girl. So, and then I'm very proud of that. For me, the most important scene, if I can say, as a stunt scene, it was with my horse. That, you know, I'm very disappointed is not here because, you know, it was my car and Max is not here. But anyway, so it was quite, you know, I have a stunt man that teach me how to ride a horse because I had a quite serious accident just 2 months before, and I still have a present in my bag for that. So, you know, it was my stunt scene. It was with the horse, and of course, you know, my favorite car is the DB5, where, you know, I shot my first scene with Daniel Craig, and, you know, such lovely memories.
What did you talk about in between shots when you were like with the car?
Oh, there was a lot of jokes, and, you know, it was, I don't know if you remember the scene. We are from the beginning of the tale, and I asked if it was very close, his place, and he said very. So we got into the car, and we go around so fast and fast and fast, and he was driving for the first 5 takes. And then they asked him to go much more close to the camera, so the stuntman took his place. But, you know, because it was quite impossible that any normal human being and not stuntman can do that. Yeah.
That must have been amazing to be in the car again, wasn't it?
It was. But, you know, again, I was in the balloon. I was not really realizing what was happening in my life. So it's after you really understand what happened.
It brings back wonderful memories to me. I'm looking across little Nellie, the helicopter they used in Only Live Twice, which was my first Bond. I was a ninja sliding down the ropes, 125 foot, on the back lot at Pinewood Studios, where 007 stage now is. In those days it was just a cement back lot. And they built this huge scaffolding construction and made the volcano, the interior of the volcano there, with a helicopter pad and a sliding roof. So that brings back memories. And then, of course, come up to the modern day ones with this Parahawk behind me. That is a sort of a mismatch of things. We invented that machine for that movie. I'd done a picture in the 70s in Alaska called Bear Island, where we had these Swedish machines which had an aeroplane propeller on the back, where they were like speedboats, but they went across ice and snow. And we looked at those and thought, no, they're not quite sexy enough, so what would be the marriage of those and a skidoo would be perfect, because skidoos are more reliable. They go up hills, whereas these things didn't go up hills. But these things actually flew, and we actually developed them and tested them, and I shot a lot of the sequences about 6,000 or 7,000 feet up in Chamonix, and then when they land, they release the parachute, they turn into skidoos. So, you know, we actually had 2 different types of machines, but one with an engine underneath and one with a fan engine. But I think they're quite unique machines when you think it was actually designed and tested and actually shot on in a film doing what it was designed to do. You know, it's quite a practical machine.
Did I say maybe one passport? The passport, yeah. It's much easier to hide it too. You know, the car is quite complicated.
I don't know. What do you think?
You take
Micah?
cubbies home with you?
Well, no, I think Cub One is very safe here. It's nice to be able to share. You know, it's great to be able to share these props with the fans.
I do like my cars. I've got a Bentley GT and an SL Mercedes 500 and a 450 and a 320 Mercedes. I've got quite a few Mercedes. But I think if I had my pick, I couldn't have the DB5 because that's a national treasure. I couldn't have that. I would take the Z8. I was amazed that it didn't become more popular with the public than it did, probably because of its expense. But to me, that's a real manly convertible. It's a nice motor.
Ooh. Well, there's a jetpack, which would be brilliant for commuting, but I'd love. Gosh, there's nothing much here you wouldn't want to take home with you. Probably I'll be taking home the Corgi model that's in the shop. It's about what my budget can stretch to.
You move side up, side, so you're looking the other. Yeah, that's it. And then if you bend over to look in, kind of keep your legs straight and just put your hands on your knees. That's it.
One second. Huh?